A couple of weeks ago, I read a Vogue article about having a boyfriend being embarrassing, and here's my take on it. I don't think having a boyfriend in itself is embarrassing. What's embarrassing is dating a loser. Because why? Why would you do that? And I know that you don't really choose who you fall for, but you can definitely choose what you're willing to accept from other people, especially when it comes to dating and relationships. And if you choose to settle for someone that just doesn't love you the way you want to be loved, then it is indeed embarrassing. And you're just wasting your time. So I'm gonna share with you the best dating advice I've learned as someone in her 20s. And not only by experience, but by the reflections I make about the current dating situation, but also advice I've been taking from other people and their experiences. So dating doesn't become embarrassing for you. Hi, I'm Bala, the girl is here to talk about things that happen to all of us but that we don't really talk about enough. And it's been such a long time since we talked about love and relationships and dating. And after reading this article, I think it's just the perfect time to talk about it because I think it can be so confusing and misleading, especially for people that genuinely want to love and be loved romantically, to be constantly surrounded with these types of takes on love. So I think we just have to take a moment and talk about what it really means to love properly and in which terms a relationship can and cannot be embarrassing. So the first thing is, you don't really get paid or receive a medal for treating someone better than they are treating you. Babes, loving someone harder, it's not going to make them love you a little bit more than they already are. Because love, it's not something you do only when other people are like giving you stuff. Love is something you do and you share and you express when you feel it. So it doesn't matter how much you give, it's not going to change anything for the other person. Love has to come from them in the same way it comes from you. And even if you could force it, why? Why would you do that? Why would you choose to be in a relationship that it's forced? Why would you choose to be with someone that it's not choosing you in the same way? That's the embarrassing part. You don't have to settle for less just because you think someone is cute or because you see their potential or because you think you can change them. Because it's not your responsibility. You're not their parent. You're not their nanny. Why? Why would you put yourself in that situation? Doing that and having to baby a grown adult, that's embarrassing. And I think it's really important to make the difference, especially when we read these articles. Dating in general, it's not embarrassing. There are just some aspects about dating that we have normalized that are actually embarrassing, like having to teach someone how to give you just a little bit more, just that little extra that you know it's actually not too much to ask for, but you still have to do it. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to lose yourself just to receive the bare minimum from someone else, because with all the time and attention and energy you're giving them, you could just use it on yourself. It's embarrassing to give your everything to someone that is not reciprocating that to you. If that's the case, then you better just give it to yourself. So stop wasting your time. How someone else treats you, it's way more important than how you feel about them. Because let's be honest, if they're not treating you properly, if they're not treating you the way you want to be treated, then you don't really like them for who they are. You just like them for who you have convinced yourself they could be. And it's not fair. It's not fair to you that you have to convince yourself to fall in love with the potential of someone. And it's also not fair to them that they're not even being loved for who they are. It's just a waste of time. And let me tell you this. There's people out there who don't have to change, who you don't have to baby and mommy just for them to treat you right. It's embarrassing that you're not choosing to wait for that person instead of settling for someone that is just cute and has a lot of potential, but it's just not really it. If you want someone that naturally loves you truly, then you better just wait for them. And in that meantime, just focus on yourself. Focus on growing, on doing better, on becoming a better version of yourself, instead of wasting your time with people that are just losers. Stop settling for people that just don't know how to properly exist around you, because your life shouldn't be a constant task of teaching people how to treat you properly. Because let's be honest, if you treat other people properly, then that's the most obvious example that it's something that we as people naturally do when we care. It's not something every person has to teach us. And yes, communication is important, and sharing with other people how you want to feel loved, it's important, just so that you're mindful of how you perceive love. But that doesn't mean that you have to teach them the very basics of what care and love should be. Now let's be honest, the potential you see in them doesn't actually come from them. It's just a reflection of what you would do if you were in their shoes. So all the good things you're seeing in this person, all the good things they could be, they're just you. It's not even them. You're just seeing yourself and all the things you would do that you wish this other person would also do. So instead of wasting your time with them, just spend that time with yourself. They are not you. You already meet your standards. You already meet your bare minimum. There's a reason why you are asking for these things. So stop wasting your time. Wasting your time with other people, it's embarrassing. It's time we start focusing on ourselves and things that actually build our life, instead of trying to parent a grown adult into giving us the bare minimum. And this takes us to the next advice, which is who you date. It's a reflection of how you perceive yourself. And that's why dating someone that is just not living up to your standards and the things you want, it's embarrassing, because it also talks about what you're willing to accept and what you perceive yourself to be deserving of. So if this person is not giving you enough, if this person is treating you poorly, it's embarrassing yourself, because you're showing the rest of the people and yourself that this is what you're willing to accept, and that it's embarrassing. Who you date shows not only your standards and what you're willing to accept, but also it talks a lot about what you're looking for in your life. Because I think once you hit your 20s, you start realizing that dating is not just a joke, and you're not just chilling around anymore, which it's okay if that's what you want. But once you decide that you want to settle, once you decide that you want to build a relationship, who you choose, it's going to say a lot of what you want for your future. So if you're dating this mid person, this person that doesn't really fulfill you, that doesn't really help you grow, that doesn't even love you the way you want to be loved, it shows that you are not really looking for much in your future. It shows that you are the type of person that just settles for less than the bare minimum, and that's kind of embarrassing. We both know that's not who you are. So stop dating people that reflect a version of you that you outgrew a long time ago. Your partner, it's the person that you choose to be the closest to for the rest of your life. They are your life partner, the person you're going to grow old with. Why would you settle for someone that is just not enough for you? You don't have to do that. Nobody's forcing you. Being alone, it's not bad. And we can talk about being single and kind of deconstruct a little bit the idea that we have of it, because being single is actually really cool. You're not forced to date. You don't have to settle. And this is why it's so important that while you're single and also while you're in a relationship, your main focus is to grow, to focus on yourself, to grow as a person, to become the version of yourself that you want to be, to live your life and experience your life how you actually want it to feel. Because the more you grow as a person, the higher your standards are going to be, because now your normal, it's way better than it used to be. Your minimum, your bare minimum, it's way higher than it used to be, and that's what you deserve. Because we just live once, and we put so much work into just doing better, doing good in life, that we deserve a good partner. You deserve a good partner. And this kind of takes us to the next advice, which is that the type of people you're attracted to, the type of people you choose, your type, can actually be trained and changed. And you do that by focusing on your growth. So let me break it down for you. When you focus on your life, on your growth, on your comfort, on achieving the things you want to achieve in life, your focus is on that, not on other things. You're choosing to direct your attention and your decisions on those particular goals. And you will naturally start filtering out the rest of things that don't align with the things you're choosing to focus on. In psychology, we know this as selective attention. Basically means that we are constantly surrounded with so many stimuli that it would just be chaotic if we just paid attention to each and every single thing that's happening around us. Not only in the physical world, but also in our mental world. We have so many thoughts, so many ideas, and just so many things going on in our heads all the time that it would just be draining if we paid attention to each and every single thing. So that's why we as humans, we have this ability called selective attention, and we have the ability to choose to focus on particular things that align with what's important for us. And when you do that, you're going to notice that you're naturally going to start filtering out the rest, because it's not relevant for you. You're choosing not to focus on that, so that's not the input that's coming into your life. And you can use this in your favor. The fact that it's a skill we naturally have as humans doesn't mean that you cannot control it, because you can. You need to choose and align yourself and your decisions and your actions into focusing on the things you want, to focusing on growth and happiness and feeling good and doing things that feel good for you as a person. Doesn't matter what that is, doesn't matter if that is completely different from what people constantly tell you should be focusing on. This is your life, so you can choose what you want to focus on. You can choose what it is that you want to do. And once you start doing that consistently, you start teaching your brain to naturally and subconsciously focus on the things that add to that goal you chose. And that includes people. Once you set your mind to focus on this particular things that just make you grow and make you feel better, your brain is naturally going to start filtering out the things that don't align with that, because you choose to not perceive them as relevant. So all of the traits that people have that don't help you grow, you're going to start perceiving them as undesirable. The people that don't add to your life are going to start feeling and seeming boring for you. And that's okay. That's perfect. That's exactly what should be happening. Once you choose to grow, you're going to notice that you're going to start to outgrow some people in your life. And that's because you chose to focus on something different. You chose to focus on growth. And so the people that don't align with that are just going to seem boring. You're just not going to be interested. That's not where you're going to be focusing your attention. And that includes who you're attracted to. So once you start focusing on yourself, the people you pay attention to, it's going to start being only the people that aligns with that. And that includes your partners. So honestly, if you want to be in a relationship that doesn't feel embarrassing, the best thing you can do is just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself so much that you naturally learn to not pay attention to the people that don't add to that. That your type, the type you're attracted to, becomes people that align with that. And this takes us to the last advice, which is never, ever, never let someone treat you like an option. Even if you don't care about them and what they think of you, that should be your boundary. That should be a rule you have for yourself. Because if you have enough time to give to people that just see you as an option, then you have way too much free time. And that doesn't mean that you have to be busy. It means that you have all this time you could be using on yourself. Even if it's just seeing movies at home in your pajamas, doing nothing, good. Use that time for your comfort, for your pleasure, for your happiness, for your relaxation. But don't give it to people that don't value you. Never let yourself believe that it's okay to let other people treat you like an option, because you're not. Don't even dare to entertain that idea. And don't make the mistake of waiting until it's too late, until you're too grown to realize that. Because life's actually so short. We shouldn't be wasting our times with people that just don't care about us. Why? That's embarrassing. Just don't. Just don't. Life is too short for you to treat your time and your experiences with the respect and appreciation they deserve. So do better. Stop dating people that make your life feel embarrassing. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Babes, at the end, dating, it's beautiful. Love, it's beautiful. And don't let anyone convince you it's not. Because I'm a lover girl, and I love love. I've always loved love, and I always will. So love in itself, it's not embarrassing, okay? Just remember that the embarrassing part comes when you settle for people and experiences that don't add to your life, that don't fulfill you, that are not in the level of the experiences and things you want to have in your life. And that's okay. It's okay to have standards. You deserve it. It's your life. You shouldn't be settling for less than what you want and what you feel like you deserve. So don't make your life and your love experience something embarrassing. Just focus on yourself and wait for the right person to come. Because relationships and love are beautiful when they're done properly, when you're not settling for just whatever middle loser comes in your way that just happens to be somewhat cute. So focus on yourself. This is the era of focusing on yourself and on your growth and not settling and lowering your standards for anyone. So hope this video was helpful for you and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.